Hey, what's up guys, it's Jonathan, and this is the Mate 9. I've been using this phone for a few months now. Despite it just being released in the US, I've been using the international version. But this, however, is the US version, and this is the one that features Alexa as a voice assistant, which we'll cover in just a bit. The Mate 9 has been an absolute joy to use. It's a great phone, but with a $600 price tag, it puts it out of reach for a lot of Americans. Because of the fact that it's not on a carrier, so there's no subsidized plans or anything like that. So it's basically you have to pay $600 for this phone out of pocket just right off the bat. And that is what really sets the Mate 9 back. But if you look at it compared to the competition, it's very well priced and it beats the competition in many ways. The design of the Mate 9 is striking. It features a solid aluminum unibody design with chamfered edges and a good screen to body ratio. To me, the Mate 9 has a good bit of heft to it, which I don't find to be a bad thing. It's heavier than most other flagships on the market, but the weight constitutes its extremely premium design. When I'm holding the Mate 9 and using it for my daily rituals, I feel like I'm holding a wonderfully sculpted piece of metal with edges that don't cut into my hand. The subtle curve on the back allows the device to sit in my hand nicely, creating an illusion that the phone is smaller than what it is. By no means is the Mate 9 a one-handed device, but if you combine the ergonomics with the software features, you can easily manage it single-handed if needed. The screen has a resolution of 1080p, but it's one of the best 1080p panels on the market. It gets plenty bright when exposed to direct sunlight or areas that are extremely lit, and thanks to the IPS panel, it has good viewing angles. However, be aware that there is slight color shifting. The colors coming off of the screen are vibrant, but yet very natural. It produces sharp text, and honestly, I have no complaints regarding this display. For those that are stuck on the idea that phones require Quad HD panels, the Mate 9 Pro might be more suitable for you, but just keep in mind that the Pro model is going to set you back a good chunk of change. Having a 1080p display is not all that bad, especially when it's an excellent display. The difference between a Quad HD and a 1080p panel, specifically this one, is not as noticeable as you may think. But one area where you will notice a big change is battery life, and this is by far the Mate 9's biggest strength. I'm easily able to get through a full day on one charge and then some. The Mate 9 was giving me anywhere between 6 to 7 hours consistently of screen on time, and that's amazing. Plus, it does feature fast charging, has a USB-C port on the bottom, and there's no complaints at all when it comes to that 4,000 milliamp hour battery, which is just ginormous. And thanks to the 1080p display, it doesn't have a bunch of pixels to push around, so you're able to conserve even more. The Kirin 960 also plays an important role in battery life, being that it consumes less power. Plus, the software has a few tricks up its sleeve. Between the battery life and the kick-ass display, watching videos has been a joy with the Mate 9, but what takes the experience even further is the audio. While the phone does only feature a downward firing speaker when in portrait mode, rotating the phone to landscape enables the stereo speaker setting. The bottom speaker produces the majority of the sound, however, but the combined experience is excellent.
Anything. Nobody touched it. Positive. You just opened the door, right? You didn't go in.
There is a setting that can be adjusted to allow the phone to run in stereo all the time if you wish. The Mate 9 is the first Huawei device to ship with MUI 5.0 on top of Android 7.0. I'm not really a huge fan of MUI as a whole, but 5.0 is a major improvement. It's fast, it's responsive, the color scheme is nice, it has the option of an app drawer, and it consumes less system resources than any other version. Huawei has also tweaked the software to increase the longevity of the Mate 9, allowing the phone to remain as good in 2 years as it was on day one. Of course, I was not able to test that, but what I can say is the RAM management combined with the phone's ability to trash files that it no longer needs is definitely working. I never had an issue with performance despite MUI still being loaded with features and customization options such as the knock-knock gesture. One unique feature coming to the US version with a future update is the use of Alexa as a voice assistant. It is the first phone in the world to feature this, and it's something that I'm really looking forward to. Unfortunately, at the time of this video, it's still not out yet and I have not gotten a chance to play with it. As I previously said, the Kirin 960 is a performer and it will not disappoint. The benchmark test will show high scores, and that's all great, but the real-world use is spectacular. It's capable of handling any app or game you throw at it. The back of the phone never really got hot during my use unless I was outside on a Georgia winter warm day. The camera is dope. Plain and simple, this might be my favorite camera on any Android device, or at least close to it. It features a 20 megapixel monochrome camera and a 12 megapixel RGB camera on the back with OIS. On the front, you get an 8 megapixel shooter with an aperture of f1.9. The app is loaded from the ground up with features. While some might be gimmicky, I found the HDR feature to be excellent, and the aperture mode, dare I say, can compare to the iPhone 7 Plus's portrait mode. You can also zoom a little bit without any visible loss of quality, so it's similar to the iPhone 7 Plus's telephoto lens, but I wouldn't say it's as good. Colors are very natural, and the imaging coming off of this camera is super sharp. The dynamic range is also very good, but low light suffers drastically. The camera tends to use both sensors with pixel binning to brighten a subject, creating either a blown out image or one with lots of noise. 4K video is also there, and it's great when you're in well lit or properly lit areas, but again, in low light, it suffers from quality loss. The Mate 9 may have been out for a while, but with the US release, I can safely say it's in my top 3 favorite Android phone list at the time of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're new here, go ahead and stick around by subscribing. Whether you're new or old, make sure you turn on those notifications so you can be alerted whenever a new video drops. Follow me on all my social media connections so that way you can get at me on a more direct level. Plus, I tend to do giveaways throughout the year, so if you don't want to miss those, go ahead and do that. Leave me a comment down below if you have any questions, and of course, I'll talk to you in the next one. Be easy.